Hello, I am Sydney, oral cavity and esophagus, and I'm going to be telling you about the Thomas. The oral cavity is attached to the heads, and it is the main opening of the body, and that is where humans, along with any other organisms that can eat, that is where they shove their food. Food begins its journey through the digestive system in the mouth, also known as the oral cavity. Inside the mouth are many accessory organs that aid in the digestion of food: the tongue, teeth, and salivary glands. Teeth chop food into small pieces, which are moistened by saliva before the tongue and other muscles push the food into the pharynx. Okay. Teeth are living organs and contain blood vessels and nerves under the dentin in a soft region known as the pulp. The teeth are designed for cutting and grinding food into smaller pieces, so this is of course very useful in our digestive system. The start. Next is the tongue, and the tongue is located in the inferior portion of the mouth, just posterior and medial to the teeth. It is a small organ made up of several pairs of muscles covered in a thin, bumpy skin-like layer. The outside of the tongue contains many rough papillae for gripping food as it moved by the tongue's muscles. The taste buds on the surface of the tongue detect taste molecules in food and connect to nerves in the tongue to send taste information to the brain. The tongue also helps to push food toward the posterior part of the mouth for swallowing, which of course leads into digestion. The human salivary alpha amylase is an important enzyme found in the oral cavity. Next, we have the salivary glands. Surrounding the mouth are 3 sets of salivary glands. The salivary glands are accessory organs that produce a watery secretion known as saliva. Saliva helps to moisten food and begins the digestion of carbohydrates. The body also uses saliva to lubricate food as it passes through the mouth, pharynx, and esophagus. And after that, we have the pharynx. The pharynx, or throat, is a funnel-shaped tube connected to the posterior end of the mouth. The pharynx is responsible for the passing of masses of chewed food from the mouth to the esophagus. And the pharynx also plays an important role in the respiratory system. Just for an interesting fact. And these are the organs that come within the oral cavity. Another big organ I get the honor of speaking to you about is the esophagus. The esophagus is a muscular tube connecting the pharynx to the stomach that is part of the upper gastrointestinal tract. It carries swallowed masses of chewed food along its length. At the inferior end of the esophagus is a muscular ring called the lower esophageal sphincter or cardiac sphincter. The function of this sphincter is to close of the end of the esophagus and trap food and in the stomach. The esophagus wall contains 4 layers: the mucosa, which is the surface epithelium. Then there's the submucosa, which is the connective tissue. Then we have muscularis, which is the middle layer. And then we have adventitia, which is the connective tissue that merges with connective tissue of surrounding structures. Interesting. Now, back to the topic of the oral cavity. Let me tell you about some of the diseases that you can get in the oral cavity. There is oral cancer, squamous cell carcinoma, precancerous condition, erythroplakia, varicose carcinoma, oropharyngeal cancer, fibroma, and vesiculobulous disease. Interesting. Better be careful. And then I will tell you about the diseases of the esophagus. There are many diseases of the esophagus, so I'm just going to tell you some big ones. There is esophageal motility disorder, dysphagia, gastrointestinal disease, esophageal stricture, gastrointestinal perforation, esophageal web, esophageal atresia, esophageal varices, esophageal candidiasis, and laryngopharyngeal reflux. There are lots.
Hello, my name is Alex Stomach, and I'm going to talk about the Holovinsky. Yes.
The stomach is the internal organ in which the major part of the digestion of the food occurs, being a pear-shaped enlargement of the alimentary canal linking the esophagus to the small intestine. The stomach is a muscular organ located on the left side of the upper abdomen. The stomach receives food from the esophagus. As food reaches the end of the esophagus, it enters the stomach through a muscular valve called the lower esophageal sphincter. The stomach secretes acid and enzymes that digest food. The churning action of the stomach muscles physically breaks down the food. The stomach releases acids and enzymes for the chemical breakdown of food. The enzyme pepsin is responsible for protein breakdown in food. There are many parts of the stomach. The parts of the stomach are the cardia, the body, fundus, pylorus, antrum, canal, sphincter, gastric mucosa, gastric folds, gastric pits, and here we get to the glands, the gastric glands, the cardiac glands, the fundic glands, and the pyloric glands. Next are the cells. Have the foveolar cell, the parietal cell, and the gastric chief cell, and the enterochromaffin-like cell. What up?
There are many interesting facts about the stomach. Here are a few. The stomach serves as a first line of defense for your immune system. When you blush, the lining of your stomach also turns red. An adult stomach can hold around 1.5 liters, which is nearly half a gallon, of food or drink. And last but not least, food does not completely break down in the stomach. One last interesting fact is that it is a very popular myth that thin people have smaller stomachs than bigger people. But that isn't true. The stomach is really the same size in everyone, unless you have surgery that changes the size of your stomach. What changes is the food thermostat, the point where your stomach tells your brain that it is full. The type of food you eat does matter in how hungry you still feel afterwards. Foods high in sugars are digested very quickly, making you feel hungry faster, while foods high in protein and fats digest much slower, allowing you to go longer before getting those hunger pains. There are many diseases of the stomach. Gastritis occurs when the lining of the stomach becomes inflamed or swollen. Gastroenteritis. Gastroenteritis is an inflammation of the gastrointestinal tract in both the stomach and the small intestine. Gastroparesis. In this group of uncommon disorders, patients suffer from symptoms which are suggestive of blockage or obstruction of the stomach, yet investigations show no evidence of a mechanical blockage. Non-ulcer dyspepsia is a common problem wherein patients suffer from indigestion and other symptoms suggestive of an ulcer, but no abnormality is found. Peptic ulcers, which is a break in the surface lining of the stomach, or duodenum, which is deep enough to produce a shallow crater or ulcer in its wall. And also, last but not least, there's stomach cancer.
That's all, folks.
Welcome to my video. My name is Connor Small Intestine, and I'm here to talk about the mills. The small intestine is the part of the body that runs between the stomach and the large intestine, and it has three sections: the duodenum, the jejunum, and the ileum. The small intestine is the part of the body that actually does most of the absorbing through the digestive system. 90% of it takes part in the small intestine, and the other 10% takes part in the stomach and large intestine. The small intestine has about 4 layers present in most part of it: the mucosa, the submucosa, the muscularis propria, and the serosa. The mucosa includes a columnar epithelium with glands called crypts of Lieberkühn, which are mucus-secreting goblet cells. The ileum has a subepithelium of lymphoid tissue along the anti-mesenteric border. The submucosa contains blood vessels and the Meissner nerve plexus. Now, some interesting facts about the small intestine. The small intestine is not named that because it is small in size, but because it has a small width. If we consider the length of the small intestine, it is actually massive. The small intestine is 6 meters long, which is about 20 feet. And finally, the actual way that food travels through the small intestine is from the stomach to the duodenum, then the jejunum, then the ileum, and then into the large intestine. Now for some diseases. Celiac disease is an immune disease in which people can't eat gluten because it will damage their small intestine. If you have a celiac disease and eat foods with gluten, your immune system responds by damaging the small intestine. Celiac diseases affect each person differently. Symptoms may occur in the digestive system or in other parts of the body. One person might have diarrhea and abdominal pain, while another person may be irritable or depressed. Irritability is one of the most common symptoms in children, but some people have no symptoms. Celiac disease is genetic. Blood tests can help your doctor diagnose this disease. Your doctor may also need to examine a small piece of tissue in your small intestine to see. The only treatment available is to eat a gluten-free diet. Crohn's disease is a disease that causes inflammation of the digestive system. It is a group of diseases called inflammatory bowel disease. Crohn's can affect any area from the mouth to the anus. The most common part to be affected of the small intestine is the last part, the ileum. The cause of Crohn's disease is unknown and may be due to an abnormal reaction of the body's immune system. It also seems to run in some families or be genetic. It most commonly starts between the ages of 13 and 30. The most common symptoms are pain in the abdomen and diarrhea, but other symptoms include weight loss, fever, and bleeding from the rectum! Your doctor will diagnose Crohn's disease with either a physical exam, lab tests, imaging tests, or a colonoscopy. Crohn's can give you complications, such as intestinal blockages, ulcers in the intestines, and problems getting enough nutrients. People with Crohn's disease can also have joint pain and skin problems, and children with this disease may have growth problems. There is no cure for Crohn's disease. Treatment can help control symptoms and may include medicine, nutrient supplements, and/or surgery. Some people have had long periods of remission, when they have been free of the symptoms, and then it has come back. Another thing that can happen is that you can have intestinal cancer. Cancer is like normal cancers, just in the small intestine. Possible symptoms of small intestinal cancer include abdomen pain, weight loss for no reason, blood in the stool, or a lump in the abdomen. Imaging tests can create pictures of the small intestine and the area around it, which is used to diagnose intestinal cancer and show whether or not it has spread to other parts of the body. Surgery is the most common treatment. Additional options include chemotherapy, radiation therapy, or a combination of all three. An intestinal obstruction occurs when food or stool cannot move through the intestines. This obstruction can be complete or impartial, and there are many causes for it. The most common causes are adhesions, hernias, cancers, and certain medicines. Symptoms include severe abdominal or pain or cramping, vomiting, bloating, loud bowel sounds, swelling of the abdomen, inability to pass gas, or constipation. A complete intestinal obstruction is a medical emergency. Whether complete or partial, the way to fix an intestinal obstruction is only surgery.
Hello, my name is Hannah Liver, and I am going to cover the Lewis. The liver is a roughly triangular organ that extends across the entire abdominal cavity just inferior to the diaphragm. Most of the liver's mass is located on the right side of the body where it descends inferiorly toward the right kidney. The liver is made of a very soft pinkish-brown tissues and encapsulated by a connective tissue capsule. This capsule is further covered and reinforced by the peritoneum of the abdominal cavity, which protects the liver and holds it in place within the abdomen. The liver has multiple functions, but its main function within the digestive system is to process the nutrients absorbed from the small intestine. Bile from the liver secreted into the small intestine also plays an important role in digesting fat. So the main part in the liver with digestion is to process the nutrients. There are many things that are around the liver, somewhat. We have the esophagus, ribs, spleen, stomach, intestines, hepatic artery, portal vein, and the gallbladder. Also, with the help of vitamin K, the liver produces proteins that are important in blood clotting. It is also one of the organs that break down old or damaged blood cells. The liver plays a central role in all metabolic processes in the body. In fat metabolism, the liver cells break down fats and produce energy. The microscopic structure is conceptualized in several ways, the two most common being the acinus and the lobule. The acinus is a unit that contains a small portal tract in the center and terminal hepatic venules at the periphery. It is the smallest functional unit and is divided into two zones, 1, 2, and 3, wherein Zone 1 surrounds the portal tract and Zone 3 surrounds the hepatic venule. Blood from the portal tract flows through these zones to the venule with a decreasing oxygen and nutrient gradient. Alternatively, the traditional concept of lobule may also be used, in which the central structure is in the terminal hepatic venule, which is the central vein, and the periphery is delineated by portal tracts. Portal tracts are channels that originate at the ileum and course through the liver in a branching pattern. Structures within these tracts include bile duct and ductiles, hepatic artery, portal vein, lymphatic vessels, nerve fibers, and a few inflammatory cells. Hepatocytes are normally arranged in cords that are 1 or 2 cells thick, separated by sinusoids. Sinusoid are channels through which blood flows from portal tracts to the hepatic venule. Most common types of liver diseases. One of them is non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which is the accumulation of liver fat in people who drink little or no alcohol. Hepatitis C, an infection caused by a virus that attacks the liver and leads to inflammation. Hepatitis B, a serious liver infection caused by the hepatitis B virus that is easily preventable by a vaccine. Hepatitis A, a highly contagious liver infection caused by the hepatitis A virus. Cirrhosis of the liver, chronic liver damage from a variety of causes leading to scarring and liver failure. Alcoholic hepatitis, liver inflammation caused by drinking too much alcohol. Hemochromatosis, an inherited condition caused by excessive absorption of iron leading to high blood iron levels. Now, while there are many more liver diseases, these are just the main and common ones that we hear about in everyday lives.
Facts about the liver. 1. It stocks iron. 2. It is the largest glandular organ. 3. It is multifunctional. 4. It contains fat. 6. 5. It is a detoxifier. 6. It is all pervasive. 7. It's the inventor of blood. 8. It regenerates. That rhymed. 9. It's the hormone processor. 10. It's the protein creator. 11. Clotting agent. 12. This is really interesting. It is responsible for the color of our poop. 13. It's the stock of liveliness. 14. And it's the medicine converter.
Hello, my name is Nathan Pancreas, and I'm here to talk about the Maxwell.
The pancreas is a glandular organ in the digestive system and endocrine system of vertebrates. It is located in the abdominal cavity behind the stomach. The pancreas is a digestive organ, secreting pancreatic juice containing digestive enzymes that assist digestion and absorption of nutrients in the small intestine. It is important because it helps further break down the carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids in the... What the heck is that? In the chyme. In the chyme. Anatomically, the pancreas is divided into the head of pancreas, the neck of the pancreas, the body of the pancreas, and the tail of the pancreas. The front upper surface supports the pylorus, or the base of the stomach.
From the back of the head emerges a small uncinate process which extends to the back of the superior mesenteric vein and ends at the superior mesenteric artery. The tail end of the pancreas is in direct contact with the spleen. The pancreas plays its vital role in the digestive system by secreting fluid that contains enzymes into the duodenum. The enzymes help to break down carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids. The cells are filled with granules containing the digestive enzymes. They are secreted in an inactive form called proenzymes. They are then released into the duodenum, where they are activated by the enzyme enteropeptidase, which is present in the lining of the duodenum. The proenzymes are then activated. Enteropeptidase activates the proenzyme trypsinogen by reacting to form trypsin. The trypsin then reacts with the rest of the trypsinogen, as well as the chymotrypsinogen, to form its active form, chymotrypsin. The enzymes are often named after the substance they help digest. For example, lipase breaks down lipids, while amylase breaks down starch, or amylum. The pancreas also secretes phospholipase A2, lysophospholipase, and cholesterol esterase. A perforation of the pancreas would lead to the secretion of digestive enzymes like lipase and amylase into the abdominal cavity, as well as pancreatic self-digestion and digestion and damage to organs within the abdomen, which generally would require experienced medical intervention. It's possible to live without a pancreas, but you'd have to take like insulin shots and stuff, and yeah. Another common pancreatic boo-boo is pancreatitis, or the inflammation of the pancreas. It's most often associated with gallstones, which could be due to alcohol usage, overusage. Not just like a little alcohol, but a lot of alcohol. Cocaine is also another big one that'll swell that pancreas right up, and even some scorpion stings. And pancreatitis is not fun because it causes a lot of pain to the abdomen, which could radiate into your back and could also be associated with jaundice. It would also cause problems with fat digestion and could lead to pale stools and dark urine. Love it. Pancreatic cancer is very difficult to treat because it's mostly diagnosed when it's too late for surgery. It is very rare, though. In those younger than 40, the median age of diagnosis is 71. The biggest risk factors include smoking, obesity, diabetes, and certain genetic conditions that are also rare. About 25% of cases, though, are attributable to smoking, and 5 to 10% are linked to inherited genes. Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disorder where your immune system attacks the cells in your pancreas that create insulin, which regulates blood sugar. The more common form, type 2 diabetes, is also a combination of insulin resistance and impaired insulin secretion, both of which are predominantly genetic factors. The management of type 2 diabetes relies more so on physical activity and diet to reduce blood sugar levels to normal ranges and increase the sensitivity of the insulin rather just strictly the amount of insulin that you have. Here's an interesting pancreatic fact. The pancreas of a calf and lamb are used as food under the culinary name of sweetbread.
Hi, I'm Mac, Row Nutrients, and I'm covering the Chilton. Our bodies are pretty complicated, meaning that they have a whole lot of nutritional needs in order to survive and function. The composition of our diet is essential to meeting these needs, and therefore it's important to understand the two different types of nutrients they can be split into: macronutrients, carbohydrates, proteins and fats, and micronutrients, vitamins and minerals. You've probably heard of these terms before, but what do they actually mean? The three macronutrients all have their own specific roles and functions in the body and supply us with calories or energy. For this reason, the body requires these nutrients in relatively large amounts to grow, develop, repair, and feel good. Each macronutrient is almost always found in every item of food, whether it's a healthy snack bar, like Eat Naked, or raw vegetables. The only difference is how the macronutrients are balanced. As an example, the nutritional composition of an avocado is generally made up of 75% good fats, 20% carbohydrates, and 5% protein. Therefore, this is clearly a fat-based food. On the other hand, a banana consists of 95% carbohydrates with only small amounts of proteins and fats. The trick is to understand how each macronutrient plays a different role in the body and tailor your diet accordingly. Fats. Don't be scared of fats. Fats are an essential part of a healthy diet and should account for about 15 to 20% what you consume. They help by improving brain development, overall cell functioning, protecting the body's organs, and even helping you absorb vitamins found in foods. Some examples of healthy fats are almonds, walnuts, seeds, usually pumpkin or chai, olives, and avocados. Protein. Protein is essential for repairing and regenerating body tissues and cells, a healthy functioning immune system, and manufacturing hormones. This wouldn't be possible without amino acids, which are found in protein-based foods. In total, there are 20 types of amino acids, 9 of which are essential and can only be found in certain foods. Good sources of protein are beans, seeds, mostly hemp, chai, and flax, nuts, unsalted, quinoa, avocado, beets, raw greens, usually kale and spinach.
Okay.
Carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are comprised of small chains of sugar which the digestive body breaks down into glucose to use as the body's primarily energy source, and therefore need to make up around 45 to 65% of a diet. Carbohydrates to choose are apples, bananas, cauliflower, carrots, oats, brown rice, chickpeas, and kidney beans. Each cell in your body contains a number of biomolecules, organic compounds that make up the structure and carry out the function of your cells. Among these molecules are nucleotides, the components your body uses to make genetic material, DNA and RNA. Nucleotides are found in some form in every cell in your body, and your health relies on the intake of nucleotides from your food. Foods rich in nucleotides are anchovies, sardines, dried shiitake mushrooms, pork, and beef. Macronutrients. carbohydrates, proteins, and fat are essential for health, growth, healing, and immune function. Too little or too much of any of these macronutrients may result in poor health and a variety of diseases. In the past, research on nutrition and disease frequently focused on the problems caused by diets that provided too little nutrition. However, eating too much has become a far greater threat to health in developed countries and in many developing nations as well. Balancing your diet to ensure that you're not consuming too little or too much macronutrients can take some learning. The general consensus seems to be that the balance of your meals should start with the following balance: 30% proteins, 50% carbohydrates, and 20% fats. These percentages are referred to as a baseline because they are only meant to be a starting point. Now, fun facts about macronutrients. The word macro means large, which is why you need large quantities of macronutrients. Fat is the most calorie-dense nutrient, providing 9 calories per gram. Carbohydrates and protein both provide 4 calories per gram. Macronutrients are also featured in plants. In addition to these 3 macronutrients, alcohol can be another source of calories in our diets. Alcohol has 7 calories per gram, putting it between carbs and proteins and fats. Ethyl alcohol, ethanol, is a type used in beverages we consume, which are usually produced by the fermentation of grains and fruits, resulting in anywhere from 2% to 20% alcohol by volume. Beer has the least calories and alcohol based on volume, while hard liquor has the most.
I like macronutrients in my life.
Macronutrients keeps me alive.
Macronutrients give me energy.
And don't forget to count your macronutrients in order to have a healthy diet.
Hello, my name is Lexi Vitamins and Minerals, and I have the acres. Vitamins and minerals make people's body work properly. Although you get vitamins and minerals from the foods you eat every day, some foods have more vitamins and minerals than others. Vitamins are organic substances. Minerals are inorganic elements that come from the soil and water and are absorbed by plants or eaten by animals. Your body needs bigger amounts of some minerals, such as calcium, to grow and stay healthy. Other minerals like chromium, copper, iodine, and iron, as well as selenium and zinc, are called trace minerals because you only need very small amounts of them each day. Vitamins fall into 2 categories: fat-soluble and non-fat-soluble. Fat-soluble and water-soluble. The fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K dissolve in fat and can be stored in your body. The water-soluble vitamins C and the B-complex vitamins need to dissolve in water before your body can absorb them. Because of this, your body can't store these vitamins. Any vitamin C or B that your body doesn't use as it passes through your system is lost, mostly when you pee. So you need a fresh supply of these vitamins every day. What do vitamins and minerals do? Vitamins and minerals boost the immune system, support normal growth and development, and help cells and organs do their jobs. For example, you've probably heard that carrots are good for your eyes. It's true. Carrots are full of substances called carotenoids that your body converts into vitamin A, which helps prevent eye problems. Another vitamin, known as K, helps blood to clot so cuts and scrapes stop bleeding quickly. You find vitamins K in green leafy vegetables, broccoli, and soybeans. And to have strong bones, you need to have foods such as yogurt, milk, and green leafy vegetables, which are rich in the mineral calcium. Now, people go through a lot of physical changes, including growth and puberty. During their teenage years, eating right during this time is especially important because the body needs a variety of vitamins and minerals to grow, develop, and stay healthy. Eating a variety of foods is the best way to get all of the vitamins and minerals you need each day, as well as the right balance of carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and calories. How is it related to digestion? Literally hundreds of Nutritive substances are absorbed from the small intestine. The last part of the digestive tract, the large intestine, is particularly important for the absorption of vitamin K, biotin, and the electrolyte minerals. The digestive system actually relies a lot on a large variety of vitamins and minerals in order to function optimally. Vitamin A, it nourishes the GI tract. Vitamin B complex aids nutrient breakdown for energy. Vitamin C is needed for collagen production. The tissues of the digestive tract are full of collagen. Therefore, vitamin C is needed to maintain a healthy system. There are many other vitamins and minerals that are needed in order to function optimally, but those are just a few. You might think nutrient deficiencies are a thing of the past, reserved for sailors trapped at sea, but even today it is possible to lack some of the essential nutrients your body needs to function optimally. Nutrient deficiencies alter bodily functions and processes at the most basic cellular level. These processes include water balance, enzyme function, nerve signaling, digestion, and the metabolism. Resolving these deficiencies is important for optimal growth, development, and function. Nutrient deficiencies can also lead to other diseases. For example, calcium and vitamin D deficiencies can cause osteopenia and osteoporosis, two conditions marked by brittle bones. And an inadequate amount of iron can cause anemia, which zaps your energy. Telltale symptoms are usually the first clue that you might be low in one or more important vitamins or minerals. Here's how to recognize a few common nutrient deficiencies. The first would be in calcium. Calcium is important for maintaining strong bones and controlling muscle and nerve function. Signals of severely low calcium include fatigue, muscle cramps, abnormal heart rhythms, and a poor appetite. Make sure you're getting enough with at least 3 servings of milk or yogurt a day, she said. Other good sources of calcium are cheese, calcium-fortified orange juice, and dark leafy greens. Potassium is another, and it helps the kidneys, hearts, and other organs work properly. You could become low in potassium in the short term because of diarrhea or vomiting, excessive sweating, or antibiotics, or because of chronic conditions such as an eating disorder, kidney disease. Symptoms of a deficiency include weight loss, muscle weakness, constipation, and in severe cases, an abnormal heart rhythm. For natural potassium sources, some would recommend bananas, whole grains, milk, vegetables, beans, and peas. Iron is the third thing that you could have low amounts of in your body. Iron helps your body make red blood cells. When iron levels get too low, your body can ineffectively carry oxygen. The resulting anemia can cause fatigue. You might also notice pale skin and dull, thin, sparse hair. To boost iron levels, I recommend eating iron-fortified cereals, beef, oysters, beans, chickpeas, kidney beans, lentils, and spinach. And yes, there are others, but the best way to avoid or remedy nutrient deficiencies is to make sure you are eating a balanced, nutrient-rich diet.